I am Ranga, and I'm here to take us through yet another exciting webinar in the series of webinars where we showcase our capabilities for Automate. Today's topic is about how to provide Gen AI-enabled conversational banking through Automate's platform. And we have none other than our CEO, Bala, who would take us through not just a presentation, but also a demo about our generative AI capabilities on conversational banking. So without much ado, Bala, could you take us away?
Yep, thanks, Ranga, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. So, as Ranga mentioned, the focus today is going to be on Gen AI-enabled conversational banking, and I'm going to use this deck to quickly introduce Automate and our credentials in the banking industry before jumping into the specific topic of today's webinar, which is conversational banking, and then move to a demo, which I think would be the most interesting part. We are a low-code workflow automation platform focused into the BFSI industry, and just some of the scale that we handle today in terms of volume. A lot of multiple customers, various workflows running on the platform. We handle over 10 million transactions. And one of the high volume workflows running on the platform is the loan origination system, LOS. And we process something like 1 million loan applications each month for multiple customers. The platform runs default on Google Cloud, but you have the option of running it on other cloud or on-premise, as the case may be. We process over 5 million documents each month in this use case. And the platform brings together fintech and regtech in the sense the platform is compliant with all the requirements of the regulator in terms of data, security, and all of that. So any workflow that's running on the platform would meet the regulators' requirements. I said we are the low-code workflow automation platform focused on the BFSI industry, and these are some of the use cases running on the platform. Customer onboarding, a lot of risk and KYC related workflows. The platform is natively integrated with Gen AI and LLM stack, and one of the demo that we're going to see today is based on that. But we also have customer service automation, email automation, collections-driven workflows. We are, for a particular bank, we are automating their branch operation, moving from a voucher-based traditional banking to a paperless branch, and so on and so forth. So unlike most other players who are vertical solution providers, the power that the Automate platform brings is once you automate a journey, you are indirectly onboarding a platform that then allows you to automate several journeys. Some of our customers, as you can see, obviously I'm not going to go through it in detail, but as you can see, the range of customers include from tier 1 banks to large NBFCs to smaller NBFCs to microfinance, agri related NBFCs, and so on and so forth. And we spoke about some of the use cases, and all of them run for some of these customers. Having said which, I'm coming to today's topic, which is conversational banking. Conversational banking has been in existence for a while now. I think when chatbots were introduced many years ago, many of the banks offered a conversational chat or a chat interface to access several of the banking features. Most of them on the website remained constrained that they can provide only generic information, but there was also a couple of conversational banking platforms that allowed you to transact business, like transferring funds, or typically what is required to go into a mobile banking or a internet banking capability through a front end, conversational front end. But with Gen AI, I think you now have a tool that can significantly increase the capabilities that you can provide to a customer through a conversational front end. More importantly, almost everything that can happen in the bank in terms of someone accessing his mobile banking or a CRM chatbot or applying for a loan or a customer service request, any of that the entire operations of a bank can be moved into a conversational front end now. And with GenAI integration, it's almost like a personal assistant for the consumer to help him with anything that he wants to do with the bank. And that's the power that we'll see in the demo in a moment. The demo that I'm going to show is largely, we've integrated this on top of a mobile banking platform so that you have a backend that you can relate to. But unlike the traditional conversational banking capabilities, which are limited to a set of capabilities, you'll see significantly more capabilities now. And some of that is here. You of course have an ability to converse with the platform now to get things done. You have a conversational front end with a voice or chat or whatever. So anything that you want to do with the bank, with a mobile banking or internet banking earlier, now you can do with a conversational front end. But with the GenAI integration, you also have significantly enhanced capabilities. You can analyze your account. You can ask specific questions. You can ask, look at your expenses, cash flows, and so on and so forth. So you have a front end then that can allow you to query your banking account, the database, and get specific answers. You can now, integrate it to FAQs, your websites, and the demo that we're going to show you. We're just showing a demo to a bank, and it's pointing to that bank's website. But you can ask generic questions. You can do specific service requests. I need a checkbook. I lost my credit card, whatever it is. You can manage tickets. You can ask in any language. And you have added capabilities in terms of the bots or the conversational front end's ability to understand customer sentiment and then take decisions based on that. So what you have now is a significantly enhanced set of capabilities that pretty much can do almost everything that you otherwise was dependent on a live person or a contact center agent to help you. And that's a demo that we're going to see in a moment. Just before I jump into the demo, there's typically, the Automate platform, as I mentioned, is natively integrated to the LLM stack, and this happened much before ChatGPT was launched. So everything, typically all the concerns that customers have, enterprises have, in terms of data security, cost of LLM, speed, hallucination, all of these have been addressed through Automate's proprietary efficient frontier framework for GenAI. We have had webinars earlier before, and you probably see some of this available on our YouTube channel. So all of those concerns that typically any enterprise, and particularly bank regulated entity, has already been taken care of natively in the platform. I'm going to now jump into the demo. So these are the features that you're going to see as we spoke about. To just sum it up, we'll have a conversational user interface. You can analyze your account, ask queries. It can respond to FAQs. It can understand your sentiment. You can ask in different languages, and it can cater to service requests. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and move to the demo. So let me share my screen now.
Sure, Bala.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your demoflow.automate.com screen.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me set the context here. So actually, in this case, I've logged into my mobile banking or internet banking account, which basically means I'm already authenticated. I've gone through bank's authentication process of giving user ID or using your fingerprint or whatever. And so I'm already inside the mobile banking platform, and which is where this chatbot is currently. So I'm going to first try and use the conversational interface to pretty much do anything that we do in an internet banking scenario. Let's say we do some transfer of funds. So I want to transfer, say, 50,000 INR to mom. So the system, I would have, in most mobile banking platforms today allow you to have nicknames, and so when I say mom, it's going checking, and it figures out that the mom's name is Priya Sharma, and it's just confirming to me that this is what you requested. And if I say yes, and as given that we have a GenAI interface, now you can say yeah, why, yes, all of that. The system ability to understand all of that is it's almost very conversational in that sense. So let's look at the OTP 5743. Okay. So the system is then giving me confirmation that it's completed that transaction. You have the transaction ID and things like that. At the same time, as this is happening, or as you're logging into your mobile banking account, the system is also going and looking at my account, looking at last 6 months, say, transactions, and making making a set of assumptions and getting ready to kind of engage with me as a chatbot. So the system is saying, I see that you pay your rent around the same time during the last 3 months. Would you like to pay your rent now? So it's almost like a live personal assistant sitting there looking at what you have done in the past, and then prompting you in a meaningful, personal way on, hey, you're mispaying your rent this month, you want to pay now. And if I say the yes, right, it's asking me for a confirmation that I would like to transfer so and so to Mohan Ravi. And then the system, it gives you the same transaction ID and things like that. And then the system is now offering you that you can set up an auto payment option. You don't have to do this every month. And would you like to do that now? So not only that you could engage and do what you want to do in terms of transferring funds to your mom, the system is now going and analyzing your accounts and prompting you based on the past transactions and things like that on what you should do next, right? Which is once you say it, you want to auto transfer, it's popping up a screen, it's filled up all the details. It's giving the option of how whether you pay monthly or quarterly, and what date would you prefer to pay. And now you set up an auto transfer every month, right? So on one side, we saw the fact that we can access anything that you do with a traditional mobile or internet banking through a conversational front end. And it goes beyond that. The system has analyzed your account and prompting you. It could be, we can define boundary walls on what it prompts, what it doesn't prompt. But it's almost like you have a personal assistant who's kind of prompting you to do to manage your earlier transactions and things like that. Now you have a front end you can ask specific queries about your account. For example, I can ask questions like, how much did I spend on coffee? Right. So especially if you want any data like this today, it's almost impossible. Even if you call the call center to get this information, is almost impossible. But with the GenAI front end, you can pretty much ask any query and collect details, specific details about what you have, what you would like to know about your spend patterns or something. You can, for example, ask, what about travel? It will maintain the context. It's almost like speaking to a live person. It'll tell you how much is your travel expenses been. Right, so it gives you those details. So now you have a front end where you can query your account, get whatever specific information you need, and that's a power that traditional conversational bots didn't have. You can ask any generic question. For example, I can say I want a loan. Now we are pointing it to to a bank's website just for the data that's available. So it's going, you can upload FAQs, you can have documents asking. So the system, it's saying go to the UCO bank because that's where we did a demo and it's showing. But the question was very generic. You just said, I want a loan, and the system gave you a generic response. But then it's prompting you, is there a specific loan that you want? And let's say, you are asking this in Hindi now. Yeah, it can handle multiple languages. Given that you have a GenAI front end, the system automatically will understand they are asking in Hindi, and it will respond accordingly. It responded back, and so and it's kind of keeping that conversation going. It's asking, do you want to like to know your current interest rates? It probably then tell you, do you want to apply for it now, and so on and so forth. So now we have moved from the traditional conversational front end to ask any queries about typical internet mobile banking, to querying your account and asking specific information, for being prompting you by the system based on your past transaction, to looking for generic information like I want a loan and things like that. Now let's say you want to say I lost my credit card, or I want a checkbook. Right? You're going to specific service requests now. Right? So the system is able to kind of empathize with you. It's then giving you an option. Do you want to lock the card from here? So you can not just like if you're speaking to a live contact center agent and requesting that you lost the credit card, the agent would then initiate a set of steps to block your card and issue a new card or whatever. And you can do the same thing here. The system is not just responding to your query, but is intelligent enough to then understand what should be the follow-up action, just like a live person holding that conversation and prompting you. I'll say no for the moment here. Right. So you can similarly do any service request. You can say I need a checkbook, or a request for a statement, or request for any other thing. And you can also, given that Automate is a workflow automation platform, you can also link this to a workflow platform at the back end. So if there is specific approval that is required, you can then initiate those workflows for whoever it has to go to do the approval and things like that. So unlike other chatbots, which is typically a front-end conversational platform, the Automate solution comes with a workflow at the back end, which allows you to have an end-to-end seamless experience for the customer. You can have, for example, sentiment analysis. I can say, I am frustrated with your service, right? So the system, recognizes that the sentiment is negative here, and it responds accordingly, basically saying, I'm sorry to hear that you're frustrated with the service, and then there's the next thing. You can at the right time, or you can decide based on a business rule or a sentiment or whatever, that you can bring a live agent into the conversation. So it's asking you, do you want to connect to a customer service executive? And if you press yes, you can either do a voice connection or a chat connection to a contact center agent, or a sales guy or whoever is relevant, so that the person then can speak with the customer and support him or help him with whatever he's looking for. So not only that it understands sentiment, now you have the ability to bring a live person into the flow as relevant, so that the person that can support the customer. And so it's not typically in many IVRs and chatbots you get stuck there. Neither do you get access to a live person, or you are not the chatbot is not able to solve the problem. Here, the chatbot or the conversational front end is now significantly more powerful than the traditional ones. So it has a lot more capability, as you saw. And yet, if there is an escalation required to a live agent or a bank staff, you can seamlessly do that through the platform. I'll say no for the moment.
Bala, just to let you know that we are 10 minutes away from the end of the session. So if you could just gracefully close and leave some room for Q&A. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So the last piece that I wanted to show before I close is, there's typically there's a concern, I mean, among any enterprise, specifically on banks, on whether the whichever LLM model we used, or in this case, whether it will remain within the boundaries defined, or it could answer any questions. The LLMs are very powerful, trained on huge amount of data, so they come with inherent capabilities that could lead to hallucination. But in this case, let's say I ask a question, okay, let's say, what is the weather in London, for example? Okay. Right? The system is not expected to answer that, even though it's a very generic query and fairly easy to respond. So it's especially for a Gen AI integrated chatbot, and yet the system is realizes that this is not within the boundary lines that has been defined for it to operate, and hence in a very polite way saying that cannot answer this question, right? So just to sum it up, if you now think about a typical any interaction we have with any financial institution, specifically our bank, almost everything that we do with the bank, other than physically depositing cash or withdrawing cash from the ATMs, everything else in terms of information, in terms of transactions, in terms of service requests, in terms of language capabilities, sentiment analysis, all of that, the Gen AI enabled conversational banking is able to do right now. So almost everything that you can think of in a banking context is now possible. Not just that, it's almost, as I said earlier, it's almost like a personal assistant that you have. The Gen AI can be programmed to not just answer your question, but logically ask the next question, so that it kind of holds that conversation with you. Helps you to come to a logical end to that conversation by either solving whatever you're trying to do, solving the problem, or helping you with the transaction. And if for some reason it's not able to solve, then escalating it to an agent or connecting it to a live agent. So if you think about customer service in the large context, it's about two things. One is ability to respond to a consumer or a customer during that call, first call resolution and all of that we speak about. And secondly, if for some reason it's not able to do that, then ensuring that the ball is not dropped somewhere and your query doesn't get stuck somewhere, but able to logically take it to a point where it's able to either bring someone else or some other, initiate a ticketing system or whatever, and keep track of it. So both with Gen AI front end and a set of capabilities that's available on the Automate platform, the system can seamlessly handle any queries that you have. And I don't think Automate low-code workflow automation platform is the first in the world to have Gen AI integrated or LLM stack integrated natively, including AI agents and things like that. And I'm not, at least not come across any bank. We are deploying the solution for a bank currently, but other than that, I don't think there's any bank in the world which has rolled out an application, or any company that has rolled out an application similar to what we just saw. Thanks. I'll take any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bala. We are open to Q&A, and please drop your questions in the Q&A box, and I will relay them to Bala as we are able to answer each one of those. I think we have a couple of questions already. This question is from Paresh, and he is asking, hi Bala, great demo. Does the platform have the capability to perform computations over transaction data using natural language queries? For example, what was my average and maximum coffee expense 2 months ago?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It can do any transactions. It can in the implementation that we are doing for a customer, it's even going to predict to you your interest, and look at how you have deployed your funds currently, and suggest to you what could be a better way to deploy it for higher interest rates. You can do any kind of math transactions. You can take 2 months and ask it to tell how much did I spend in, let's say, in Feb and March. It'll add up those and give it to you. So of course, it has all the capabilities to do computations.
Great. I have answered that live. There's another question coming in saying, will the customer data get exposed? I presume they mean, in a transaction
Yeah,
that's going on in
yeah,
a
good
chat like
question,
this.
and I think this is the most common question that I come across. Will GenAI? I mean, two questions. One is a lot of customer data now on the conversational platform. Customers' account numbers, all of those kind of stuff. Will that get exposed or will go away? The answer is no. Today, the LLM stack, and we currently this demo is running on Google's GCP in India, in Mumbai. So they themselves commit that no data will go outside the country, no data would be used to train the models. But in the case of autonomy, there's another level of security that customers have if you want to, which is the efficient frontier middleware that addresses this concern. So you have the ability to any customer specific data that is a customer's typing, his account number or whatever, the system can mask it or remove it or before it's sent to the LLM model. And once the response comes back, can do the reverse to make it to make that answer relevant to the customer. So both in terms of where the technology is today and provided by the cloud providers, and more importantly, if the customer wants specific requirements, Autonomy also has solutions, middlewares that addresses this.
Great. We do have room for a couple of more questions. We have one comment saying, how long does it take to integrate to my system?
Typically 6 to 8 weeks, right? I mean, there are two kinds of integrations that is there in the demo that I showed you, or I mean, a little more than two, I guess. One is, of course, specific mobile banking platform, so that all transactions can be handled through that platform. Second, in this case, we also have an integration with the customer CRM 360 data, which allows me to give a broader view of the customer's account from a core banking perspective. And of course, we have integrated to some FAQs and the bank's website and things like that. But all of this together shouldn't take more than 6 to 8 weeks.
Awesome. Awesome. I don't think there are any more questions. I'll give the audience a minute more to ask any more questions here. By the way, if you folks have any more questions, but you were not able to ask it in a timely fashion in the webinar, you can always ask us on the registration email that you would have gotten for the webinar. Be rest assured that this webinar is being recorded, so you would have a chance to catch up on the demo and the presentation Bala just gave at your own schedule too. All right, going once, going twice. I believe there are no more questions, at least at this point, Bala. Bala, thanks once again for your time and effort for putting together this demo and presentation. And just to let you folks know, this is not an ad hoc webinar. We have a series of webinars coming up showcasing our platform capabilities. So stay tuned for the next series of webinars in the coming months. Thank you once again for attending and see you in another one. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.